Hello everyone and welcome to a very exciting premiere of the Backmarkers Racing League SLiDESIGNS Trucks Series. If you're here tonight, you're here witnessing something special. This is the debut of this brand new series with a bunch of our old veteran ARCA drivers moving their way up and some new faces even who've qualified themselves in. This is going to be the premier series you're not going to want to miss out on. So, welcome to the opening race here at Daytona for the SLiDESIGNS 250. And let's get ready for some amazing truck racing. And if you are here on our Backmarkers Racing YouTube channel, go down below, click subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell, as well as click the like button. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you just bear with me for a moment, I'm seeing some weird lagging, it almost looks like, on our broadcast stream, so I'm gonna do some back-end stuff here real quick while we're doing qualifying so you don't miss a minute of the race action. Just hang in tight. If it says that we've gone offline, we have not. We'll be right back. Thank you. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the SLiDESIGNS 250 here at Daytona. As you can see, just took a second. Looks like we are having some weird difficulty where it is coming in and out of being pretty smooth and then kind of stuttery. Hoping that will just kind of shake itself out as the night goes on, so we appreciate you guys. This is a kind of a new hurdle we're looking at here, but it shouldn't affect things too much in the grand scheme of things here. And once again, I do want to thank you for tuning in to the series premiere of the SLiDESIGNS Truck Series, here presented by Backmarkers Racing League. I, of course, am your broadcaster, your lead broadcaster, Rain Braun, and alongside me is broadcast colleague Tyler DeTalent. That's right, different Tyler. How's it going on, man?
All right, it's going. I'm excited for this one. This is going to be fun, especially after Tuesday night.
As I'm seeing, I do genuinely see some issues with our broadcast here tonight. I'm unsure what is occurring here this evening, but we're gonna make sure we get this sorted out as the night goes on. It's always fun when some new situation rears its head only during the actual broadcast, right?
Oh, of course. Wouldn't have it any other way with technology.
And of course, it's going to happen on your inaugural broadcast.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely try and work our way through it. It's not gonna hurt the quality of the race. It's just maybe just for the people at home.
I'm hoping truly that it is some kind of issue in regards to the qualifying session that is currently ongoing.
Yeah.
And then once that session ends and we get into the race, because I believe practice looked pretty clean from what I could tell. Maybe if you guys are hanging out in chat, you can tell me if it's been looking bad all this time. It looked pretty smooth during that period, though. So I'm really unsure of what has changed here. Well, don't want to get too carried away worried about it. Why don't we take a look here at what's going on so far? Jacob Bradley, Logan Monteith pretty much have a tied position, a side time here for pole and second. Jacob Bradley just edging him out, followed by Steve Loving, Adam Lang, and Michael Boyles. That is your provisional top 5 right now. We still have people out on the track who are qualifying. So, I mean, this is not the, the end so far, but man, we have somewhere north of 25 cars, I believe, registered for tonight, or somewhere very close to that. That's a pretty incredible turnout for the starting of this this series. How are you feeling about everything tonight?
Man, this series is going to be super competitive. Just looking at the top 2 times, they're within 5 thousandths of each other. And I think I got my number. Yeah. So the top 5 is kind of exactly as I would expect as Blake Hoppy jumps in the top 5, with the exception of Tyler Barnett down in 10th. But Jacob Bradley, super strong last year in ARCA. Logan Monteith, obviously super strong in ARCA. Steve Loving, always strong everywhere he goes. And Adam Lang, haven't done a whole lot of races so far in the Backmarkers League, but I know he's strong from past endeavors. And Blake Hoppy, he's definitely due for a big win. Michael Boyle's usually fast. Kostek, he's a newcomer.
Absolutely, we've heard definitely a lot of good things about him so far, and what he could be capable of. But a lot of names from some people we weren't really familiar with. Devin Jack was not previously racing in a previous league with us thus far. I mean, we also have a couple of other names: Larry Dickerson and Stephen Heights, I believe. These are all people that are relatively new names, so we're going to be experiencing them firsthand here tonight. We want to give
what a way
big,
to break them in.
Yeah,
Daytona.
Absolutely. I want to give a big shout out to the Samuel Stoner section. I see you down there, Lloyd Stoner, giving some support to him. Some big love for some very incredible drivers. Sam Stoner is a bit of a misnomer here. He is the 16 tonight. A labeling error has him as the 65, which is his ARCA number, but you will see him as the 16 on track. Also, thank you very much, Alex Elkins, for the report on the lag situation. We will, as I said, be trying to figure out, how things are looking and make sure that, it's staying pretty clean throughout. Hopefully we won't have any issues and it'll just kind of work itself out. As we get ready here, it looks like everybody's getting ready to start gridding up. And we do have 23 cars registered here this evening. Very incredible. And I want to kind of bring up something you talked about, Tyler. The aspect of Tyler Barnett and that number 13. He is a driver that you expect to see in a much higher position based on how dominant he was in ARCA. Season 1 champion, won every race but the second race of the season at Phoenix, which was won by Logan Monteith. But some mostly chalk that up to an iRacing score error. Not any discredit away from Logan, just how things kind of shook out at that time. Very dominant performance in that race and in that entire season. And now he's here in trucks. And generally, while he's somebody who can usually find himself qualifying around the pole, he's kind of talked about his feelings on how he's capable of handling trucks and how he is behind the wheel, and how it's a little bit of a different, even like a more even field for him, because it's just different than how he feels behind the wheel of the ARCA car. Tyler, have you gotten behind the wheel of these trucks at any point? Can you give us some insight on what that's like?
Yeah. So I ran with Logan, Steve, Adam, and Michael Kostek, and trying to see if there's any other names on the list here. But Tyler also ran in the original Rebels Racing League, and that was a truck series. So I know firsthand those 5 or 6 guys that I named usually beat me by a pretty decent margin. So they're
Yes.
definitely really good in the trucks. Yeah, Tyler's was usually one to watch out for. Adam is really good. Steve is definitely really good in the trucks. I don't think he likes the ARCA car as much as he does the trucks. So we'll get to see how that plays out. And these trucks lend themselves to pack racing a lot better. Even on the 1.5 miles, you can draw up with the draft, and they ride so much easier. Because ARCA cars, they're just break loose all the time. They just live sideways.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely had a fair share of fighting the ARCA car, and I truly believe that in the truck I might actually be somewhat kind of competent behind the wheel. So I'm really excited to see the aspect of actually being able to push each other here. But of course, that doesn't mean you can push each other too hard. It can still cause some serious issues here. As we take a look at the starting grid, as the pace car will be getting ready to dive off here. We have right now Jacob Bradley, Payday Racing, Logan Monteith with Backmarkers Racing, Steve Loving of Off the Wall Racing, Adam Lang of Evil Empire Simsport. I believe that's actually showing up incorrectly here, but that is my fault. Blake Hoppy of Backmarkers Racing, Michael Boyles of Impact Racing, Mike Kostick, Dumpster Fire Racing, Dustin Bawley of Off the Wall Racing, Brian Brobst of Vintage Racing, and Tyler Barnett of Backmarkers Racing. So pretty eclectic group already kind of sorting themselves out here. And this is definitely going to be an interesting one as we round and get ready to go as we pass the green flag here at the SLiDESIGNS 250 here in the Backmarkers Racing League SLiDESIGNS Trucks Series. And just want to give a big thank you to our sponsor of the series and the race, SLiDESIGNS. That is Steve Loving himself in the 27. SLiDESIGNS, with over 20 years of professional experience and unique designs that meet NASCAR official standards, look no further than SLiDESIGNS for your iRacing livery needs. You can visit SLiDESIGNS_ on Instagram today and reference Backmarkers for 10% off your next livery order. That is SLiDESIGNS_. You need help spelling it? It's all over the place, baby. It is all over this screen, and it is all over the title. So I don't know what to tell you. But some pretty much of what you'd expect here as this race is getting underway. It is pack racing at Daytona. Lots of people just nose to tail, pushing each other along here. Jacob Bradley, Logan Monteith really kind of eye for an eye, really not one getting much more up on the other. It looks like that top line does have some decent momentum, even though there is a little bit of a split there between that impact car of Michael Boyles and Dustin Bawley in that Toyota. So, that momentum is going to be a huge playing factor. In regards to how these trucks, take on and what they do in momentum, are they much different in terms of aerodynamics and how they actually push than, say, an ARCA car or even like a Cup car?
Yeah, the trucks, I feel like you can fabricate a run fairly easy, and you can really pull up to the back of somebody, which, I think as we're seeing right now, I think some of these guys might have learned Tuesday night that just pushing it early might have not been the best thing to do. But we got 100 laps here. It's going to be a long race. Might as well just stay in line, feel things out, feel how your truck feels in the draft. And you want to make sure that you put yourself in a position to not get caught up in something, or, if you see someone moving in and out and squirrely and trying to make blocks and stuff early, you want to make sure you maybe even bow out and just go to the back and kind of ride and see what the race brings you.
Absolutely. And I do want to thank everybody once again who is in chat. If you do happen to see the issue, if there's audio cutting out or if there's frame stutters, please do drop us a message so that we can take a look. We want to make sure we get this resolved as early in the race as possible so that we don't have, you know, any issues coming on here. So again, once again, appreciate you guys who are checking out and looking out for us there. Let us know what you see so we can see if we can make some proper on-the-fly adjustments to save this race.
And Logan Monteith is in a fairly normal position for him. Yeah, he led a lot of the race on Tuesday night in the ARCA cars because I pushed him a lot. I was behind him for a lot of that. But yeah, he's really good at these super speedways. He can hold a line better than a lot of the guys, and he's fun to push because he can take a push. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and that was a very interesting move performed there by Adam Lang and Logan Monteith both dropping down. And now we're going to see that momentum shift as that top line looks to push their way ahead. There's definitely a lot more cars on that bottom line, but that does not always mean that that top line cannot get moving. With a solid push from Dustin Bawley, and just behind him, I believe, is Robert Brobst in that 5 car. As you can see, they are already kind of creeping up on getting side by side with Adam Lang here. And once they get around that point, they'll find themselves side by side with Logan Monteith, and we'll be looking at a totally different fight for the lead. Oh, it's a big jump up in the back there. I trying to tell who that was, jumped in front of Michael Gudger in the 64. In that tailor-made vehicle. Can you make out who that is?
Let's see. That would be Stephen Heights.
Stephen Heights.
Newcomer to the league. Yeah.
Stephen Heights in the 14. Making a big jump in front of Michael Gudger, kind of stranding him out even at that point.
Yeah, and as you see Blake Hoppy go to the inside, I guess he's seen enough, and he wants to make sure he saves that ever so important fast repair when it comes down to the end of this thing.
And there's some big strategy to that because you can really, I mean, as much as they can be kind of out of nowhere, more often than not, the big one, you can kind of see that thing coming. And Blake Hoppy here, I mean, like we said, we just saw him take that opportunity. He's run up there in the front. And he said, you know what? I'm going to drop it back here. I'm going to give myself a little bit of room. And when this thing happens, I'm going to gain some position and I'm not going to burn my fast repair. They only get one. So, I mean, and how many sets of tires are we working with for this race? Do you know?
I am seeing 4 sets, so the 1 on the car or on the truck right now, and then 3 in the pits.
Awesome, man! What an incredible start so far. It's just been side by side racing. These cars on the outside, you notice they're a lot looser than the cars on the inside. There's a pretty uniform line going on down there, whereas the line in the on the outside has been a little bit looser. And I've only just noticed Adam Lang has taken the lead here. I'm unsure exactly how he ended up getting around Logan Monteith, but Michael Boyles ended up finding himself up. Perhaps there was a scenario where he jumped up while we were looking at the rest of the pack there. I'd imagine is probably what happened.
Yeah.
Dustin Bawley
and Logan Monteith dives down to the bottom. Also wants to make sure he's just there at the end. These strategies happen in real life. You'll see even the Cup guys making sure they just work to the back and link up with their teammates even, which is, I imagine, is what Logan and Blake are going to do. It's a war of attrition. It's if you watch Tuesday night, you would know, you would understand that, you know, just being there in the end is half the battle. And if you just make silly mistakes, or, you know, just throw a block, or you push somebody just enough, just too hard, you ruin someone else's night, and you potentially even ruin yours.
Absolutely. And as we take a look here at that point, obviously not to jinx anything, but we have surpassed the amount of laps we got before a caution from the last race. So definitely already an improvement over what we were seeing then. But like we said, these guys, they definitely race to a higher standard. there's going to be accidents. There's going to be incidents where guys, you know, they get out. I mean, that just happens. You watch the Cup Series races on NASCAR. I mean, there's wrecks pretty much every single week with some either just a racing incident you really couldn't avoid or a totally boneheaded move. You got to ask why it happened. I mean, that's just the nature of racing. So, I mean, they're not immune to making mistakes in any way, shape, or form, but they definitely have the capabilities here to really put on a much cleaner, much longer form race and try to give each other some more respect, as we see Steve Loving jumped up here in front of his teammate Dustin Bally, and now it's going to be a train of Steve Loving, Dustin Bally, and Michael Boyles has jumped up in front of Steve Loving as well. He saw the momentum coming off of Robert Probst and Dustin Bally and Steve Loving pushing, and he's going to find himself trying to push in front of Adam Lang now.
That's also another big part of it, is you have to focus in front of you to make sure you're not going to run over the guy in front of you, and also pay attention to your mirrors, because most of these guys, the only spotter that they have is the iRacing spotter, and all that he says is if somebody is already outside, when in the spotter in real life is going to tell you, hey, run's coming from the outside, 3 trucks back. It's, you know, you want to make sure you get up there, but all you have to rely on is that rear view mirror. So it's definitely a challenge especially when you're going this fast.
And I'm taking a look here at the gaps. It looks like Logan Monteith has fallen well off pace here. He's really hanging back there. He is steadily losing seconds, down to about 15 seconds behind the pack at this point. He's kind of just racing out there by himself right now. I wonder if he was trying to get back into the draft and he just wasn't able to find his way in, or if this is intentional. There's really no telling. I mean, a guy of his caliber, you know, he's going to be racing, you know, really smart, really smooth, trying to find himself to the end there. So I'm really curious what's going on in his mind at that point.
Yeah, my guess is he just wants to be away from any possible incident that could happen, and just doesn't even want to be in the vicinity of it, would be my guess. But yeah, it's different strategy, that's for sure.
Take a look at some names that have popped up here. It was still Adam Lang, Jacob Bradley running 1-2, but look who's just behind them. The 66 of Brady Powers of Off the Wall Racing. He is just kind of rocketed himself up. Oh, a big blink from Jacob Bradley. That's always horrifying. But he's worked his way up here to find himself into, I mean, I believe top 10 in general. It looks like he's up 13 positions on the race so far. Very impressive move from him. And as well, cannot forget Stephen Heights in that 14 car. He's up 16 positions overall on the night so far. And he's making a big push here. But man, it looks like that outside lane has just been completely stranded.
Yeah, they must have really fell apart. I guess I was back there looking at Logan, see where he was, but yeah, when I clicked back over, the outside line, a couple of the guys dipped down to the inside and just got in line, and I guess they're just, you know, they're just gonna ride around. That you also see it in real life. I know I keep referencing real life, but
well, that's right. I mean, yeah, it's true.
It's close. It's close. I mean, you know, if you watch these races, you know exactly how this, not exactly how it plays out.
Steve Loving forcing it 3 wide, trying to get around Michael Boyles. And
Stephen Heights trying to force his way back in. Tyler Barnett is there.
Michael Boyles has made his way back into that bottom line. 14 Stephen Heights has gone up, and he is in that lack of momentum right now, but he's about to be caught by Steve Loving and Dustin Bally. Teammates linked up here. Just behind them, Samuel Stoner. Oh, and the off-the-wall drivers drop down. Sam Stoner files right in line. They've seen enough of that outside line. They're ready to try to run the momentum of that inside. And the 17 of Devin Jack, another newcomer, Canadian newcomer even. That makes 2 Canadians currently running for us alongside Peter Stewart. Backmarkers is very internationally accomplished here. And actually, Sam Stoner has jumped back up to support the 14. So there's definitely some interesting decisions and strategies going on here. The 27 has moved his way up and back into the outside line. Tyler Barnett falling right in line with him. And now he
jumped up out of the bottom and followed Steve. And because there is the top line is gaining some momentum, led by Cofield, Robert Probst, and Steve Loving. So Tyler jumped up and wanted to join in because the top line did have momentum, and they're rolling. And now the bottom line is a little staggered apart. You have a little bit of room between Jacob Bradley and Brady Powers, and then a little bit more room back to Kostek, and then 2 car lengths back to Peter Stewart. So they're going to have to form up and get a little bit closer. Otherwise, that outside line is going to freight train them.
Absolutely. It looks like Dustin Bally really isn't able to find himself getting much closer. Maybe he is choosing also to hang back in this scenario. I mean, he's not fallen out of the draft, but it looks like he keeps making some choices on whether he wants to go up or whether he wants to hang down. Maybe he's just waiting to see where that momentum kicks up and where that's going to pull him. I mean, that's a big factor we've been talking about. Laying back sometimes is the better option in the early foundings of this race. We're only on lap 17 we've just come around to, of 100 laps that we're running, 250 miles. This is half of an actual Daytona 500 these guys are running here. So there's a lot of strategy that needs to go on so that you can have the longevity of your truck and see yourself get ahead. Because, I mean, nobody wants to be losing points this early in a season, and no team owner wants to be losing points that they could be earning this early in a season. They want to see all their guys finishing as high up as they possibly can.
Absolutely. And sometimes you gotta just, settle in and ride, and just know that you gotta be in it for the long haul. Team owners don't want to have to sit you down in the Monday morning meetings and wonder what the heck you were thinking, 16 laps in.
Absolutely, and there was definitely some talks between teams and team owners, and a lot of barbs exchanged over the ARCA race, and especially between truck drivers. It was just an absolute out of control couple of days, and that animosity, I mean, that can only lead to increased competition in the scenario of getting back behind the wheel of these trucks, especially with the bragging rights of winning the first ever Truck Series race for Backmarkers here in the SLiDESIGNS Truck Series League.
14, Stephen Heiss got a big wobble.
Very loose. Samuel Stoner kind of followed him there for a moment.
Yeah. Man, that was I thought he may have been going around. That was a weird bobble.
It was. It looked like he might have lost it just a moment. I've heard some people talking about a dead zone in the truck itself. As it looks here, look up front. Jonathan Cofield, the 58 there. Payday Racing has pushed his way alongside with Robert Brobst pushing behind him alongside Adam Lang. And there is now a fight once again for the lead. That outside lane has found some momentum. But as I was kind of saying, that outside line, we're just missing a number 15 in there to make a complete run, a full house basically, or rather not a full house, a flush, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Poker.
And
Poker.
15, Mr. Carter Dyson, it sucks for him. He was literally looking forward to this, and I guess a farmer ran over their whatever line their internet's tied to, so he's out of internet right now till the internet company can get it all repaired. But shout out to Carter. I know he's really hating this, missing the first race. One of my Evil Empire team guys. I hate it for him. Absolutely,
yeah, it's unfortunate. Oh, Adam Lang jumps up in front of Cofield. Very interesting spot here. He's jumping up in front, and now Jacob Bradley is going to have an opportunity. And there's the swap. Payday Racing.
Yeah.
Now linked up partners. That might not have been the correct move for Adam Lang there. And Robert Brobst really kind of has to check up there as Adam Lang really loses momentum.
I'm sure Adam thought him and Cofield are really good friends. I'm sure Adam thought he might just stay with him, but sometimes you don't have friends when you're out there. You got to take everything you can get.
Absolutely. And as we take a look here, look at the team link-ups we do currently have ongoing. We have the 58 of Cofield and the 50 of Bradley, Payday Racing. Just behind them, the 27 and 66, Steve Loving and Brady Powers of Off the Wall Racing. And let's see. I mean, is there any other immediate team link-ups in the front of this field right now? It looks like Michael Boyles and Jackson Samsel are back-to-back here, Impact Racing. Yeah. So Jackson Samsel has also been kind of hanging out in the back of the pack here. Him and Michael Gudger, both very, very proficient drivers. So for them to be back here, they're definitely looking at some kind of strategizing to find and push their way up. And there's Logan Monteith now, a lapper. This is very odd in the long run. I mean, he's the only car a lap down. I'll eventually get that lucky dog if a caution were to wave. But this is definitely a very interesting sight to see that 99 getting lapped on a green flag run.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I don't think you people watching should get used to seeing that.
No.
but that's just strategies play out, and he is, like you said, he's the first one lap down, so there's always, you know, he'll get the lucky dog if caution does come out.
And it looks like he'll be linking up in this field. Dustin Bolly has fallen way back to 18th at this point, and he is now on the tail of Logan Monty. It looks like Logan's going to find his way back into the draft here and just try to, I guess, hang out and race a lap down until that inevitable. Oh, well, he went really high. Very curious what's going on in Logan's mind. This is very interesting to me.
Maybe if we get a caution, we might have to pick his brain a little bit. I'm kind of also curious on that one. He's got me stumped.
That's always interesting coming from a teammate.
I did just hear over the team or over the iRacing chat. He said, "I'm just trying to get the lucky dog." So I guess you know he'll get it.
There you go.
Ending.
Yeah. My only guess would be that he was really hoping to kind of drop back just enough to run the back of the pack there, and he just wasn't able to catch the draft. And that's look at who's sending it to the outside.
Barnett.
Tyler
He's
Barnett.
not scared to go 3 wide.
And Adam Lang jumps up right in front of him and says, "Hey, take me with you."
Oh,
it gets
a big
very,
bobble out of Tyler.
very loose there. That is not something you see very often, but Tyler quick on the recovery. And we are still 3 wide. It's settling back into a 2-man groove here.
As we shuffled the first 2 on the outside
Robert
line
Probst,
there.
has just shuffled around and found himself to the front. Adam Lang really wanted that momentum Tyler Barnett had, and instead it just kind of stifled out. But there's definitely a lot of momentum on that train pushing ahead here. Dustin Bolly falls in line behind Brian Probst in the 11 car, the fast
Outside
white
has
truck.
a big run. And it kind of stalled out once it got to Bradley, but they're still pushing. Because Probst is going to almost pull up next to Cofield, but it stalled out when they got to turn 1, and he's still in line with Bradley.
Absolutely, and they really are only just getting Adam Lang going around. Leaving Robert
I don't
Probst.
think they did not want to follow Robert, apparently. They were ready to go. They're going to need a 3rd truck to make it work.
Leaving Robert Probst in the sucker hole there, but Adam Lang is really not able to keep up. Robert Probst is getting back around.
Stephen Heights almost... He may have touched Tyler there.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a moment. My live HUD has decided it is going to break, so I'm going to put us onto a holding screen for just a moment while I get that refreshed. Oh, well, this is a very interesting development. It appears that live HUD is currently offline. So we have lost our tower. That is fine. We'll just get right back to the racing. Man, I don't know what is going on here tonight, but there is plenty of weird stuff happening.
Steve tries to pinch Adam Lang on the outside, then Robert ropes. Man. Tyler had to bail on Adam Lang there, and he followed Steve. As Brope settles into the bottom line.
And we still have a very commanding lead out in front of the Payday cars, and Brady Powers, former Payday driver, right behind his former team owner, the 50 car, Jacob Bradley. He has held his way up there, but Steve Loving looks like he's getting some decent shoving here from Tyler. That is a team that could work right there. Seeing the Backmarkers car of Tyler Barnett work alongside that off-the-wall car of Steve Loving. They definitely have a lot of similar racing styles. Steve was somebody who really was capable of trying to bring it to Tyler during their season 1 of ARCA when Steve stepped in and started running. So this is definitely a fast group that can really push their way to the front. And you know Tyler Barnett, he is not one to slow down. He is not one who's looking for second. He is going to push himself to try to get to a win.
Absolutely. He's one that'll take it 3 wide if he thinks he's got the, the slightest bit of run, and normally it works out for him. Otherwise, he's very wise. He'll set her back in and just run his race.
And they are now finally side by side. Jonathan Cofield, Steve Loving, still just a little bit, only about to his door, just behind it. But they're still a lot closer than they were here, and Dustin Bawley has found his way all the way back up. He must have found that groove at some point. I believe they're coming back up on Logan Monteith here. Nope, that is a different car, actually. It's Blake Hoppy.
Interesting.
So that is
Wonder if he just lost the draft or he short pitted. But I don't.
Very interesting concept there. Those are, in fact, 2 Backmarkers racing drivers, and as well as affiliated Evil Empire SimSport alongside yourself there. So that's very interesting. I'm sure you're kind of scratching your head right now trying to figure out what exactly is going on with them 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll just have to talk to him at some point. See what they're thinking.
They are not generally 2 guys that we see not fighting for a lead or fighting for high positions. So very interesting developments here. As this 3-car pack up here, Dustin Bawley once again kind of struggling to get himself up to Adam Lang. He always ends up kind of seemingly getting just up next to them and then far off and losing, I guess, part of that draft, part of that momentum.
I think with the runs that you get into, like you see, he just pulled right up behind Adam. I think he's backing off.
Steve Loving's dropped back down.
Kind of riding. Maybe just wanted to be one of those guys that are up there, but trying to keep his distance a little bit.
Absolutely. And we're going to see if we can get our live HUD timer back up here. I'm definitely a fan of having my towers running. No, it's still down. I'm unsure. I'm going to see if I can get some word on what's going on with that.
The outside line has totally dissipated except for Tyler Barnett. Everybody's kind of followed in line or jumped in line on the bottom. Wonder if anyone will give Tyler a spot in line here.
I'm going to leave you currently, giving us some good, solid run.
Oh, Steve and Tyler touch in the tri-oval. It's not a good spot to touch there.
No, not at all. Wow.
Tyler is trying his hardest to side draft and keep his line going. Yeah, just himself up there. He's trying everything he can to stay up with these guys side drafting as close as possible. As I heard that the 7 and 58 are pitting this lap, are going to have some green flag pit stops.
Oh, it's always
except
very
for
exciting.
Tyler Barnett. Tyler Barnett goes on
to lead his first lap. There you go. And Larry Dickerson, Peter Stewart, Michael Boyles, Jackson Samsel, Abraham Kalufa, and Adam Boyles all staying out. And the most of this pack is indeed pitting here. Looks like Blake Hoppy is holding himself out as well here. He may have short pitted here, and this may be a huge opportunity now that we're looking at it for him to get back around, as he's now past that first group. And if this next group comes into pit, he's bound to find himself around them and back onto the lead lap, and potentially back in a draft and fighting. So this is very interesting. We'll have to see if he is pitting here or not.
He's going on the outside of these guys pitting, he is pitting.
Oh, very interesting. Well, we don't really know a whole lot this evening. We're just kind of winging it.
This is well, it's not exactly gone how I'd imagine with those two, Logan and Blake. As Peter Stewart, I think, hit the wall on pit road.
Oh, I'm trying to get to him, but I'm having some trouble here. Took a little damage. That's not what you want to end up happening here, as the rest of the cars have now cycled their way back out onto the track.
And they are stretched out like crazy. They're going to have to get together. Well, we got the payday drivers together, Jacob Bradley and Cofield, but...
And just behind them, the off-the-wall drivers, Brady Powers and Steve Loving.
They're going to be able to catch up to them.
As they're coming around, and here comes the group that just pitted. Heading right around them.
Logan Monteith there in the...
Oh,
right,
Michael
well,
Gudger, Adam Lang hooking up.
Yeah, we've cycled through green flag pit stops and no cautions, so
Very
kudos
good.
to the guys.
And get a lap report. What lap are we currently on?
It looks like they just finished lap 34.
Brian Brobst heading down to pit now. He's going to be pitting alone. He caught some of the grass there heading into pit lane. I'm going to take an opportunity here right now to try to hit a hard reset on some of our systems here and see if I can get these working while we're just dealing with the current situation here. So give us just a moment here while we try to sort things out. Okay, we should be connected back in here. Just a moment. We took things offline, tried to get it back up, so we should see. This may have smoothed out. I tried to restart the broadcast software, so hopefully the frame stutters are going to be a lot less. It looks like it already is on my monitoring side, but unfortunately, still at this time, no live HUD, so we're going in blind. We're just going to be enjoying the race.
Yeah, I have it pulled up on my phone also on YouTube, and it's running very smooth.
Excellent. Well, it turns out our broadcasting software was just giving us some trouble there, but thankfully we've managed to figure it out. And look at this line. Look at this group here. All led in front here. It's the 69 of Larry Dickerson. A new name to us here in Backmarkers.
Yep.
Leading the front of this pack that's pushing their way around. And 2 seconds ahead, Mike Kostick, Robert Brobst, Steve Loving, Brady Powers, Jonathan Cofield, and Jacob Bradley. That 6-car tandem is pushing hard. They are not looking, probably, I'd imagine, to get out of line anytime soon. Probably would not be super wise at this point with the insane momentum they have, but I would not imagine that it will be long before this backpack is catching up to them.
Yeah, the backpack has to get closer together, and they have to stay... they got to definitely stay in line. Otherwise, the front pack with the talent that's up there in the front pack, they're just going to actually continue to drive away if these guys can't, you know, keep it close and straight on the straightforward. But they are actually catching them. Look at the time here between. As Larry Dickerson pulls up, Michael Boyles is the only one to follow, and it slows Michael Boyles down, and Adam Lang and Tyler Barnett jump out, and they are now leading the outside lane.
Very big jump there, and Adam Lang really been fighting for the lead pretty much all night here. I mean, this is a very impressive showing by him. This is, I believe, this is only the second race he's run in the league, and the first one was this past Tuesday.
I think so. Oh, they're all forming up towards the back here. Dustin Bolly's going to jump up.
And Adam Lang is pushed ahead. Jacob Bradley here You got to wonder, is he going to try to drop down again at this point, leaving the room for Tyler Barnett to push up, or is he going to try to hold with this group, with Logan Monteith also pushing them there? Logan's still a lap down. Also a lap down at this point is, of course, Blake Hoppy, Stephen Heitz, and Brian Brobst. And Dustin Bally, look at him close that gap. As we said, it just happens on some runs. It seems to be on exit of corner exit that he manages to get a little bit of a run and find himself pulled up. He's pretty much exclusively trying to use a side draft here to get his way ahead. But
yeah,
now he has some support.
Tyler Barnett was doing when he was out there all by himself. That's the reason he was able to keep up with these guys. He was doing a really good job of side drafting.
And these cars are just side by side. Jacob Bradley here, he has not led the majority of this race, which is also pretty surprising. I believe currently it's probably Adam Lang holds that distinction, if I had to guess, or maybe Cofield. I'm honestly unsure, as I no longer know what lap we are on.
We are on lap 40 currently.
Getting very close to the halfway point here.
These guys are incredible, man. There's no cautions just yet. 40 laps, green flag run, green flag pit stops. That's awesome.
So in your opinion, based on your experience, the aspect of pitting at this point, is this a two pit race? Is there going to be more than 2 pit cycles? What do you think is going to happen here?
There's a potential that these guys could go the rest of the way. I don't actually know off the top of my head, since I wasn't running it, like what the fuel window is for these trucks. But just basing what I remember off from the ARCA race. Oh, Tyler Barnett with a big wiggle.
Very, very loose, and now it's 3 wide there. He's going to fall in line behind Logan Monteith as they come up on a lapped car here.
That was crazy.
Tailor-made car, that is the 14 of Stephen Heitz.
He's in the wall.
He's trying to keep himself up and out of the way. Unfortunate always to end up dragging the wall, but it's always preferred to accidentally causing something, so good on him. Taking a little bit of a sacrifice there. I may have misspoke earlier. I mean, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but now I just think my live timer is a little strange. Logan Monteith is still a lap down.
Yeah. Dustin Bolly's still just kind of hanging out, putting himself in the position.
Look at this. The 64, Michael Gudger, has decided he's going to try to hold that outside line. He's going to try to find himself all the way up to the front. This could be the ticket for him. We know he's been searching for that elusive victory. He does slide back in here, but it looks like he's pretty comfortable trying to find his way to the outside. He's definitely looking for what's going to be the best route for him. He has come dangerously close to winning races. He did win the initial the second Daytona Clash, the Daytona Clash for Season 2 of ARCA. But that was not a points-paying race, and to him, you know, a win can be a win, but if it doesn't count on the record books in any kind of meaningful way, it's not enough. And he loves Daytona, he loves Bristol. You know he's going to be extra fighting hard between these two tracks.
Absolutely. I guess he decided the outside line just wasn't ready yet, so he fell back in line here behind the 17 of Devin Jack and Jackson Samsel and Sean Johnson behind him, and Adam Boyles. They're all just kind of riding, making sure they're there at the end, just kind of watching to see, you know, how these runs develop, and putting themselves in a good spot for the end.
Tyler looking to the inside.
And I gotta say, I love these the paint schemes on the 16 and 17. Real throwback to when I was a kid watching Greg Biffle and Matt Kenseth duke it out when Roush was one of the top dogs, and I always loved the NASCAR, recreation schemes that some of these guys run.
Absolutely, lots of love shown, obviously, and a lot of really talented painters within this this community in this league as well. People like Steve Loving and Logan Monteith, and there's many others that have cropped up and started trying their hand at painting that are very, very great at it and have come up with some really incredible stuff. So.
And I tell you, my guy, Blake Hoppy, he just started making paints not all that long ago.
Do you see that?
And he absolutely loves it.
Sorry, we were just on board with Jonathan Cofield right there, and I just saw the spoiler on Jacob Bradley's car. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you want to go on board with Jonathan Cofield real quick, take a look at that.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic.
We try to get all the good camera angles here. We don't want to be Fox, ladies and gentlemen.
Please, no Fox.
We don't have a timing tower right now, but we're still going to be a better presentation, let me tell you.
Mike Joy and Clint Boyer wishes they could pull out what we could.
And ad-free!
That's
Where could
right.
you go for better green flag ad-free truck racing, ladies and gentlemen? Nowhere but Backmarkers Racing League here on YouTube.
As we go NASCAR side by side. I'm just kidding. If we went SLiDESIGNS side by side, we better get some money kicked back or something, because man, we don't want to do commercials. We
Ladies
just
and
want to
gentlemen,
race.
selling advertisements now. Your ad here on this
Absolutely.
broadcast.
If you have a business and you want us to read it, by God, PayPal me, and I will make sure it gets read over here. Even if it's a fake business, I'll still read it if you pay me.
The man hustles. Brian Brobst here. He's a lap down and he's just kind of fallen back in line here. I believe he's actually now... He might only be a lap, or he's 2 laps down at this point. I'm really having trouble now that my timer's gone away, but...
Yeah, having to click back and forth. Yeah, Logan Monteith, 1 lap. Blake Hoppy, 1 lap down. Stephen Heights, 2 laps down. Brian Brobst, 3 laps down.
All right.
At the moment.
And it looks like that pitting by himself really didn't help out in that scenario, so he's definitely going to be the short end of the stick here, and unless some yellow flags start coming out, I mean, these guys who are a lap down or so, that's pretty much how their night's about to end. There really is no way, there is really no working your way back around in a plate race.
No way. You have to have your own separate pack with, people pushing you. Otherwise, you're just going to be going about 12 to 15 miles an hour slower without the draft.
I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been supporting in our chat and everybody who's tuned in so far for this race. Big shout out to, of course, Nathan Gentry, owner of Dumpster Fire Racing, watching at home, Tanner Prater as well. And thank you to Stephanie Denler, it looks like. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm very sorry. Big thank you for your support of the stream here and the kind compliments you've left for us.
Still got a side-by-side battle here. Jacob Bradley and Adam Lang with Mr. 1 lap down Logan Monteith pushing Adam with Tyler Barnett right behind Logan. Those 3 work together very well.
Now, when you guys talk after this race is over, and he happens to hear this stream, do you think he's going to be very appreciative of that nickname?
I won't coin that as his normal nickname, because that's not going to happen very often.
And now, leading the race by 5 seconds, Mr. 1 lap down.
Well, I mean, that might be some fuel to his fire. But, yeah, I don't know. His strategy is different.
Well, he definitely is in the better position than anybody else here. Jacob Bradley blinking again here.
Oh, that was a big blink.
Another
and that's so hard to judge. Wow, that's hard to judge. Especially on a plate track.
When you're somebody, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can do. When you're Jonathan Cofield, you have to decide how much you feather that pedal. You really can't let up because you're going to create an entire pile up behind you at that point. You're going to get plowed by the truck behind you. They can't really do anything. There's nowhere for them to go. these trucks are moving at excess of 190 miles per hour, inching to 200. I mean, there's really not a lot of wiggle room for mistakes.
And the bad part about like where Brady Powers and Steve Loving is, they can't see through Cofield's truck, so they are just banking on something not happening to Cofield and just following. Because yeah, if you're right up on somebody, all you can see is their back bumper, and you really just have to hope and pray that something doesn't happen.
Absolutely, that spoiler. We'll show you right now. Look at this view of Jonathan Cofield from behind Jacob Bradley, and take a look here as well. Brady Powers
Logan
behind him.
Dives to the inside.
There is nothing else to see in there.
Logan's leading this pack now, and that would be his lap back, if I'm not mistaken.
He would be back on the lead lap if he manages to hold ahead of Adam Lang here. And yeah, a yellow would definitely benefit him in general at this point.
Absolutely.
But I don't think the other drivers are very interested in removing the green flag racing they have had so far.
No.
I'd imagine there's definitely a lot of banking. Of course, coming from guys racing ARCA, you think, hey, especially with the caution fest that kind of occurred on Tuesday in that ARCA race, you think maybe this group, there would still be some cautions within it. Maybe you'll be able to catch a lucky break. Just seems it's not going to be the case tonight.
Yeah, the ARCA race was definitely not one to remember. I think some of these guys might end up being gun shy. And actually, I heard over the iRacing comms, kind of why I'm stuttering and drawing my words out here. So Logan asked for, why Bradley wasn't pulling up to him and push, and Bradley said he's being told that he needs to massively save fuel. So
interesting. Yeah, so in a very fun aspect to this, something that really wasn't happening last season with ARCA, a number of drivers tonight, they have spotters with them, and they got people looking out for their fuel, their tires, and helping them manage, looking out for them around the track. And I think it's showing for some people here that they're really finding some different strategies to work with as a plane lands behind us here at Daytona.
Must be the president.
And so just like that, yeah, I mean, at that point, you've got to conserve fuel. There's not a lot you can do. I mean, in this scenario, though, is pulling up and pushing on Logan worse for your fuel? Or is it better to hang back and let somebody else push you? I'd imagine that would be the case.
Yeah, I think Bradley, I can't see his telemetry, but I'd imagine he's not running flat out the whole time. So he's getting some draft to pull him from Logan, and Cofield, driving up to him, giving him an extra little push of air. So I'd venture to say he's probably definitely in saving gas mode if he's not even attempting to connect bumpers with Logan.
That's true. And dropping down a little bit. I wonder what Brady Powers was thinking there. What is the scenario in that? Is it just trying to get a look around and see what's going on, why this line isn't moving?
That may be, and it may be to just duck out and get some air to the front of the truck, because these trucks will overheat, if you're following up with somebody for an extended amount of time. But I don't think he's really been pushing like that. So maybe he was just trying to see what was going on.
He's been pretty hot on Cofield this entire time. I mean, between his push from Steve and the push he gives back, I mean, this group has been pretty connected the entire time. That front six we talked about while we were waiting on that backpack to catch them, they're all still pretty linked up right now.
Yeah, pretty much Bradley, Cofield, Powers, Steve Loving, Robert Bropes, and Michael Kostek. They pretty much haven't moved. They're in the same order and the same, basically same line as they have been since the end of the pits. So they're all fairly content, as these guys in the outside line are they're riding content right now, as Samuel Stoner in the 16 is up here now for the first time for today.
Yes, indeed. Adam Lang was kind of holding the middle there. I wonder if he was thinking, Is that a scenario where that helps do a block at all? I mean, or is that just thinking, do I want to take that bottom line at that point?
Yeah, I well, they're in team chat together, so I'm sure with Adam Lang and Tyler Barnett up there and Logan on the bottom, basically that team has control of what's going on both lanes. So I'd imagine
a strategy.
I probably won't duck down in front of Logan if I had to guess, because Bradley has nowhere to go. Brian Brose is 3 laps down, so I mean he has no reason to really make a move 3 wide. So the bottom lane is actually kind of trapped below Adam Lang and Tyler Barnett, and they're pretty much at the mercy of splitting 2 lap cars.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone behind the screen. I'm trying to relaunch our live timing system once again, so if you just bear with me for a moment while I try to get that pulled up, be much obliged. We'll continue to give you kind of radio broadcasts while we're getting the timing system pulled back up here.
Yeah, we still have Adam Lang and Tyler Barnett, Brian Brose on the top lane.
We're back. I apologize for the amount of times we've had to pull your eyes away from the action, but thankfully there haven't been any mega cautions or crazy incidents occurring that we're ended up missing out on here. But Adam Lang is, and he finally makes the move. I'm going to tell you, I don't know that that's the smart move at that point. Do you? I was about to say, I don't know that I leave Tyler Barnett open like that, but Tyler locks down in front. And this is a very interesting maneuver here. It was not one I was expecting whatsoever.
No, it wasn't. And Brian Brose blinked big time there on the backstretch, so they were letting him know. And now the front 2 cars have control with 2 lap cars in between the other competitors. But Brian Brose is getting a big air push from Samuel Stoner on the outside. And Samuel is followed by Devin Jack, along with Larry Dickerson, also on the outside lane, coming up to help. Bradley blinked big time there.
Yeah, once again, I have to wonder here. Adam Lang is not signed to a team at this point, and Tyler Barnett and Logan Monteith are both on Backmarkers racing together. And so I do see that Adam Lang is on comms with that team. I wonder if this is an opportunity to try to push him in or pull him into things, or working alongside, just kind of getting an affiliation with a driver they feel pretty strongly about.
Absolutely. He's one of our guys at Evil Empire. I convinced him he needed to join with us because he was already on Evil Empire before the Backmarker League really got going with everybody. And I told him he ought to run ARCA, and he loves the ARCA cars. So he joined up, and with his job and limited schedule, he's running on the Evil Empire satellite team for ARCA Series points. And so he's only doing select races for the Truck Series under self-claimed TD Racing, Tyler D Talent Racing, powered by BMR.
I do believe I now recall that press release statement getting
That's
put
right.
out there. I completely forgot about TDR for a moment there. That is my. You need to register that.
Well,
I can look at things.
We're building from the ground up, you know.
You're not doing your broadcast colleague any favors by keeping secrets. Michael Boyles jumps down in front of Jacob Bradley very quickly, leaving Jackson Samsel and Adam Boyles. Those are all impact drivers. He just drops down to get into that line. I'm very surprised he didn't try to hold that link there. That was a very strong impact run. Oh, Jackson Samsel. He created some room there, I guess. Jackson Samsel jumps down. Jackson actually blinking there as well. They are putting the payday drivers to the back. Adam Boyles now.
Payday's talking about just falling back and saving gas.
I guess that's probably the best route. Yeah, I mean, they're fast. They're really good at moving through this pack. They've shown that. So I imagine if you're in a situation where you need gas and You don't want to have to be worried about pitting too early and putting yourselves laps down, especially if this thing continues green the whole way. Then you try to save where you can, stay in the draft, and wait for this round of pit cycling to happen. Hope you get a fast pit and move your way back up front.
Steve Loving, just I feel like came out of nowhere, and he's in third now.
Steve Loving, I mean, I would say out of nowhere. It looks like he shuffled himself around Logan Monteith, but for the most part, this is pretty much where he's been all night. I mean, he's pretty much been within this top 6 on the bottom line there.
Oh, here we go. Some more green flag pit stops here.
And look at that, Steve Loving gonna try to challenge Tyler for the lap. Tyler Barnett does take the lap lead, but Steve Loving now coming out trying to take the lead.
I don't think he's clear. Oh, wow.
That was so tight. And look at the bump from Tyler there. Very, very close call. Very dangerous there. That could have been really rough for the pitters in that scenario.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like Adam Lang, Logan Monteith, pretty much the only ones who've pitted here.
Maybe
I'm
they're
actually
trying to short pit and
yeah. I imagine in this scenario we've been seeing that the short pit really isn't a great option in this scenario, especially if you kind of get left out to dry. But maybe that's the hope, is that Logan can help push him.
Nobody this lap.
They all feel pretty confident. That's very interesting. I would have thought the payday drivers would have gone or tried to signal that they were going, but my guess is they're just going to hang back and wait till that front pack starts moving. Steve Loving has taken the lead.
Devin Jack there stuck behind the 11 there of Brian Brobes, trying to get some of his laps back.
Ladies and gentlemen, just for one more try, I'm going to try to launch our live HUD, and with a prayer, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The live HUD is back. We are on lap 66 of 100 here. Tyler Barnett's closing in on Steve Loving. Boy, that was really frustrating for a short while. It looks like
Rejoice!
SDK was down for a short amount of time. Oh, and we have some pitters. There they go.
Yep.
Devin Jack, Samuel Stoner, Robert Brobe, Sean Johnson, Michael Gudger, Jonathan Cofield, Jacob Bradley, and Mike Kostick. I mean, pitting this early, is that more of the scenario that you see in mind? Do these guys just think they have a lot more fuel they can work off of to get themselves back around? I mean...
Yeah. I think a lot of these guys that are still out there were the guys who haven't led a line, so they weren't, you know, burning the most fuel. So they may be able to go an extra couple laps, but I think pretty sure they're going to come this time.
I imagine so, and you do have your eyes on comms. There goes Brady Powers.
There they go.
Brady Powers makes the jump. He's trying to make some big positions, as does Tyler Barnett. And wow, just like that.
Speeding penalties.
That's something we saw from Brady Powers and Steve Loving's teammate Dustin Bawley last season in the finale at Vegas. We saw him jump in front of Johnny Rapp at the time for that pitting opportunity and getting ahead some position. Look at this, though. Michael Gudger. Michael Gudger was leading there. Adam Lang has been pushed out. Man, look at how fast they are.
Wow.
That was my imagination there. The idea of them two pitting by themselves. This was what I guess the reason was for, and it seems to have worked out, because look at how fast Logan Monteith has pushed Adam Lang back around. And as we take a look here, Brady Powers is currently in the lead at this point, but they're getting very close. Blake Hoppy slowing him down, it seems like. They're very interesting.
I think Blake pitted, and they're just also getting up to speed here.
It looks like, yeah, it was probably just my camera angle. It was very bizarre. I couldn't understand why that would be the case at that point, but
yeah, they're just getting up to speed. They're gonna go around Peter.
Peter.
Almost last second go around Peter Stewart.
Very, very last second and of course, as we said, that onboard, you're not seeing much of anything at that point. If you're Brady Powers and Steve Loving, you're relying on that 23 of Blake Hoppy to get you around that car. As we look back, look who's leading this next pack. Jackson Samsel, followed by Larry Dickerson. Dustin Bally back up into the top 5. Adam Boyles, Adam Lang, Michael Gudger. And there's Adam
Quick
Lang.
note here, Tyler Barnett is off
Ooh.
on his own. I wonder if he had a speeding penalty or something, because he pitted with a group, and he is no longer with that group.
He must have had a speeding penalty from when he jumped ahead of Steve Loving at that point. He caught the penalty, but he must have.
That is big.
Wow. That's very unfortunate for his run.
That lead group of Blake Hoppy, Brady Powers, Steve Loving, and Peter Stewart, they are going to catch him in a hurry.
Well, according to my live timing tower, Brady Powers is still in the pit, so I have no idea what SDK is doing this evening, but they are not working. So hopefully that's getting fixed up here. Really unsure what that's about.
Yeah, they're going to catch him in a hurry. See this group led by Jackson here. They're gonna catch that pack of 4 also. And
that's
then
only
you're
a
gonna
matter of
start
time at
seeing
that
who's
point.
gonna be blocking the lines and who's gonna hold on to
And it's
or
so
stay in
interesting
line.
to be talking about a pack of 4. Only 2 of them are on the lead lap. Jackson Samsel in 5th on your visual is 3rd. I mean, big blink from Blake Hoppy.
Oh,
Another big blink from Blake Hoppy.
Oh wow.
Blake had some of these issues during the ARCA race. There's just been some rough internet issues for some of our guys. It's the worst. Everything pretty much relies on stable internet connection, and when you're relying on it, your ISP kind of starts letting you down randomly. I mean, there's not a lot you can know what to do.
No, the only thing you can do, like you did in the ARCA race, is just duck out and kind of let the guys go. It's not really something you want to do, but it's for the greater good.
Single file as we come around
Tyler Barnett.
Lap 72, heading around Tyler Barnett. This is a full single file line. Is Tyler going to try to find and shuffle his way into this group at this point, or is he basically just have to accept that he's heading to the back here?
He might get freight trained because he's going. Yeah, he jumped in line.
Larry Dickerson left out to drive, and Tyler Barnett has jumped in.
Oh, wow.
That 69 car is not in a good spot. He is on an outside line alone pretty much, except for Tyler Barnett, but that's not... I mean, you're working with a lap car at that point. There's not a lot, I mean, other than the fact that he's pretty quick. Nope, he dives back in. Larry Dickerson's going to find himself shuffled on back. And we look at the Payday Racing drivers, Jacob Bradley, Jonathan Cofield, 13th, 14th, respectively, right now, as they pass Larry Dickerson to move up to a position each.
So if Tyler and, let's see, we got Peter Stewart 1 lap down, Tyler Barnett 1 lap down, Logan Monteith, Abraham Kalufa, Blake Hoppy, all 1 lap down. So they're all racing each other to be that first person 1 lap down, because you think about it, if we get all the way to green, white, checkered, and there's a caution, there's only going to be 1 lucky dog. So
I'd like to make a bold prediction.
It goes green.
Bold, no, even more bold than that. Just a bold prediction on strategy. Tyler Barnett up here. Logan Monte's still up here trying to support Adam Lang. Adam Lang steps out soon. He's going to be supported by the 99, and the 13 will jump up to push. And there will be a Backmarkers Evil Empire push to get Adam Lang back to the front.
I definitely wouldn't count it out.
I mean, they're definitely in a good position to do so. They have the right scenario kind of set up. It's just waiting for Adam to feel like he has the run to get around Adam Boyles there in the 22 Impact Racing Chevrolet.
There's also a Evil Empire, BMR Evil Empire driver leading this whole line with Blake Hoppy, so...
That is true, and pretty much Brady Powers and Steve Loving really leading this thing. They're pretty much relying on holding behind that 23. And everybody's pretty beholden to what Blake Hoppy's got going on here and what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Blake Hoppy is, he went up a little bit there. That was very interesting. I thought that was going to be a chance for him to go around. It looks like Brian Brobst has taken to the apron as he's getting lapped here.
Courteous lap car. Love to see it.
Absolutely, that is pure sportsmanship in itself. Really, if you think about the variance.
Especially
yeah.
what happened Tuesday night. Oh man,
Lap
I was behind
75
Logan.
here.
I couldn't see him.
SLiDESIGNS 250. Just want to once again remind you, SLiDESIGNS. With over 20 years of professional experience and unique design that meet NASCAR official standards, look no further than SLiDESIGNS for your iRacing livery needs. Visit SLiDESIGNS _ on Instagram today and reference Backmarkers for 10% off. That is SLiDESIGNS, SLiDESIGNS _ on Instagram. Reference Backmarkers, get 10% off your iRacing livery. If you want to get an idea of what those cars look like, well, here's two of them right now leading the pack. Brady Powers, Steve Loving, that's 66 and 27. Products of SLiDESIGNS.
That's right.
As we come here with 25 to go.
You just wonder when somebody is going to make that jump, when they're going to... Blake falls out of line here. I'm guessing it's because he's blinking pretty bad. I think Steve said something to him about him blinking, so he's probably just going to fall out. And
Absolutely, but this is more strength for that Evil Empire Backmarkers theory I had at this point. If he hooks up alongside, he looks like he's side drafting Dustin Bally there. If he ends up, and we know that there's a rivalry between them two, so him staying side by side. But if we see the link up here, Tyler Barnett could try to jump in front and go for a push alongside. Additionally, if Blake ends up getting behind, that could be the point where Adam Lang tries to make his move. But I mean, do you think they would be able to gather that momentum with 3 Evil Empire Backmarkers cars in the support pushing that 7 car to the front?
I think they could. They'd have to do some side drafting and hope that inside line stays a little bit spread out, kind of like it is. Like, these guys are definitely giving each other a lot of room. That definitely did not happen Tuesday. I feel like everybody pushed everybody a little bit, but I think with the some stern warnings and stuff like that, everybody's going to be a little more forgiving tonight. Until it gets till about 5 or 10 to go, maybe.
Brainstorming a little live on stream just for the fun of people getting a little inside peek behind the way broadcast. Oh, there it is! Wow, but Adam Lang left in the back. I am very surprised by this. This is not what I thought would be happening.
Jackson jumps up, and now it's 3 wide. Logan Monteith with the run on the outside.
Logan
wow.
really pushing it to the outside. Brian Brobst trying to hold it to the middle, and they're coming up on the lapping car of the 17.
Oh.
Whoa!
Wow.
Big shake up there.
Oh, Jackson's going to get shuffled out as Barnett. Oh, 17.
Oh, very, very close.
Woo. All right. 2 more BMR guys back to the front. And Tyler Barnett pushing Brian Brobst.
Tyler Barnett pushing Brian Brobst. Blake Hoppy being pushed by Logan Monteith. And the impact cars, as I was about to say, this really is, again, look, backmarkers pushing back and forth, off the wall, pushing, and to the outside, impact. And, I mean, even with Michael Boyles dropping down, he's now in front of the 91 of Peter Stewart. I mean, this is just more of the same at this point.
We're getting down to 20 to go, and
Peter Stewart also in Impact Racing.
Some of these guys, this is probably their mark. They thought, about 20 to go, I'm really going to start making things happen.
Dustin Bally has decided he wants that outside line.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. I mean, this really doesn't hurt anybody in the scenario of the cars trying to lead as Adam Boyles falls in front of his teammates. That is a Impact 4 group. Back to back to back to back strong there. The 22, the 05, the 91, and the 57. Impact Racing pushing strong. There's going to be a hard contention as we get closer to the end of this race, with that group having probably a lot more strength to get around these other cars, these backmarkers and off-the-wall cars.
It looks like the outside line has kind of settled down.
Dustin Bally is steadily moving up. He's using the 17 to try to push his way up. Again, there's so many cars in front of him, but he's fifth. It's so hard to keep track when you're looking if you're not looking at the scoring tower. But that's just the way
also a lap down.
The way the lapping has occurred. So is Peter Stewart.
That's right. And Barnett has actually unlapped himself. Well, he's a lap down still behind Brady Powers. So Brady Powers is the lead car, and all these guys in front of him are just guys trying to fight to get their laps back.
Praying for a caution that, I mean, we're pretty close to not seeing come at this point. It's all lap cars. Yeah, I mean, Dustin Bally behind a line of lap cars, and Brady Powers is behind 2 lap cars as well.
Barnett's going to split the middle.
Whoa, the impact split a little bit there. That was... Oh, Dustin Bally's going to follow him. Going to get buyer's remorse. Definitely, yeah, as Tyler goes up in front. He was just faster, I guess, than Brian Brobst. Was there a call on comms?
Tyler... they say that Brian was swerving, so Tyler took the opportunity to make his move.
Absolutely. As I was kind of saying before, an idea crossed my mind, the inner workings of how these broadcasts work. Just had the idea of maybe I can figure out a way to link switching to the onboard camera to make sure their names pop up every time so you know who we're on board with. That would be kind of interesting. Gonna have to work on that in my off time.
Do you have off time? I feel like you're always working on something.
I do not have off time. That is correct. And man, look at these cars coming down. That is a beautiful sight, seeing that as they approach turn 3.
I'm loving this strategy with these lap cars here, trying to just fighting to get their laps back. Right now, Logan Monteith is on the lead lap. If Tyler just stays in front of Brady Powers, he's on the lead lap. Blake Hoppy leading this pack since he has passed Brady. He is only 1 lap down now. So see, that would put Devin Jack in the 17 at the lucky dog candidate right now. Peter Stewart would be the next option. So there's just something to keep in mind as we're closing in here.
I have a report from the 51, Stephen Heights. Sorry, not the 51, the 14. I misread a number there. The 51 is Up and Coming Racing. That's Abraham Kalufa this evening. Stephen Heights is out of the race. It looks like it happened just a short while ago. He missed his box in the first pit stop and just decided to kind of pack it in from there. And you know, as we've seen, this thing running green, all in all, I mean, might not have been the worst decision on his part just to kind of sit back. I mean, you're going to lose some points there, but I do believe he's kind of running self-funded and not on a team. So perhaps he just feels he'll have a better shot next week. Pack it in now and try to enjoy the rest of the broadcast and just watch the rest of the race.
Yeah. If you look back towards the back, here comes Jacob Bradley. He's actually started a 3rd lane. He just went on the outside of Robert Brobst.
Yes, he has.
Wonder if anybody's going to go with him. If Robert will jump out of line.
I guess would be yes.
He does.
He's
going to follow.
And Peter Stewart as well.
This 3rd line is going to make a push.
Oh, this is going to be trouble for Dustin Bally. He's about to get left to dry. Oh! Robert Brobst drags the wall. Never mind. But look at that. Does not change anything. Jacob is rocketing forward. He's just taking the lead.
He is going to keep it. He's gonna duck down in behind
with
Tyler.
The 13. He must have felt the momentum falling back. He got a hole. He found his way back in. He is now fighting alongside former teammate Brady Powers, and they're both just behind a lapped car.
He could have stayed up there, but I think he risked getting into the wall more so than just falling in line and maybe riding for a few laps before he can get some more momentum back up for a run.
Absolutely. He had an incredible run there. He did that pretty much by himself, just side drafting and getting an incredible run, it seems, on that. And you can bet these off-the-wall drivers, they're probably looking at a point now thinking, man, we either got to push or we got to get out and around these guys.
That part for him right now is he's kind of on an island. If he ducks out to go to a third lane, there's 2 lap cars in between him and Robert Brobst and Dustin Bally. So I don't know if he'll get followers, because 2 truck lengths that can definitely stall some momentum.
I have to wonder if the 11 and the 17 wouldn't try to follow him. This would be an opportunity for those lap cars to find themselves around the other lap cars and push themselves forward.
That's true. Curious how Tyler will play that too, if he'll want to stay on it. He's going to race these guys as hard as possible because he wants to stay on the lead lap in case something happens. So he has no reason to just let these guys go.
Absolutely. And as we look here at the current unlapped report, I mean, so long as they keep Brady Powers and Jacob Bradley with quite the shove, it looked like their 13 got loose.
Wow.
Yeah, Logan Monteith and Tyler Barnett at the current run of being in the front have unlapped themselves. So if something does happen in these closing laps and everything goes well, they very well will likely be able to get themselves back around to the backside.
Wow.
Man, Blake Hoppy pulling the middle there.
Some side drafting.
I cannot believe this 50 car. Jacob Bradley has something else going on. We need to check his lines for rocket fuel or something, because that car came from nowhere. Was he just biding his time with better fuel and decided to really give it his all? There's definitely some incredible payday strategy that goes on behind the closed doors in there.
Oh yeah, he's fast everywhere he goes. He's skillful, and he knows when to pounce. And I think he might have, fell back in line just to maybe see what he can form up.
And just to see what's cooking, I guess. Yeah. I mean, either way, this is a drag race push here. I mean, aside from the fact that Blake Hoppy is in the front, I mean, this is a push of the 50 and the 66 pushing another car to try to keep ahead of the other one.
Yeah, what's going to have to happen? Robert
Blake
might have to get Samuel Stoner and Dustin Bolly on board to make that third lane, and then hope his brother can jump out in front of him or even behind him and add to it, because otherwise might just be stuck.
This is a scenario that's very sticky. I mean, this is why green-white checkers always seem like they're going to be a likely scenario, but I mean, this isn't like, standard NASCAR on TV. If there is a caution after that white flag is raised, the leaders cross the line, white flag, this race will continue. They will race back to that line. There will not be a field freeze. So it will be a free-for-all and a frenzy at that point. And you got to imagine, with the way this thing's mixed up and the lap cars mixed in, there's bound to be some desperate moves that are going to be attempted, but you'd also hope these guys are going to try to play some safe moves. Michael Boyles, man, got real loose, came up real tight to Dustin Bolly, almost touched doors with him.
Yeah, we're at 10 to go. I'd imagine something's got to give soon. I can't imagine these guys being content riding around for 10 laps without trying something.
Absolutely not. I mean, the interesting thing is here, this entire front pack, Robert Probst is the person who's in fourth. So this is a fight between the 50 and the 66 for first, but the 27 and the 22 just behind him, they're the ones that are the next in line in that position. They're looking at great finishes to hold on here.
Kind of keep your eyes towards the back too, with Samuel Stoner, Adam Lang, Cofield, and Kostek. I can't imagine they're going to want to settle just being back there.
We're definitely going to try to take the widest camera angle possible now that we're under 10 laps to go here. Try to catch as much of this action as we possibly can. I mean, there is bound to be some very interesting calls made. I mean, I don't necessarily think that this will end in an all-out brawl or wreckfest. I mean, it's more just I'm really interested to see how people shake around each other and who pushes where and what happens to get around and get to that final position here. Winning's important, and Brady Powers wants it bad. Jacob Bradley, he's in it for the sport, but victory lane is somewhere he expects. But Brady Powers, he's clawing for that victory. He wants it so desperately. And behind him, his teammate, Steve Loving, he wants to take it for himself too. There's not going to be any love lost there for whoever gets pushed into that position. So when you see that kind of desperation eke out of these guys, it's only a question of how are they going to get what they want out of this.
I mean, coming into super speedway racing, you're going to help your teammates as much as possible until it comes to about turn 2 on the final lap. Going down the backstretch, you just try and make a run, build up a run. Turn 3, turn 4, it's all out the window. No friends, no teammates. You're kind of out for your own blood, basically.
And you got to imagine, if you're Blake Hoppy here, you're kind of kicking yourself, being like, man, I'm leading this thing right now. Like, I've been steadily leading this thing, but I'm not. I'm a lap down in 21st. And that's, I mean, Blake Hoppy is one of the fiercest and most dangerous competitors out there. Blake Hoppy came to be one of the closest competitors to Jacob Bradley last season. I can't remember the race it was, but it's Jonathan Cofield ended up walking away with the victory on that one, but Blake Hoppy charged past both of them at one point and managed to pull a very close second.
I
do believe you're right. It was Auto Club. It was a very impressive finish. So you know that he's a hard, fierce competitor. These guys really, I mean, and why wouldn't they count on this thing to get some kind of caution at some point? But it's gone green all the way up to 6 to go. Even with a caution now, I mean, it'll definitely spice things up, and there will be some changes, and guys will get circled around. But it's really not going to change the game for a lot of guys.
I wouldn't have imagined we'd gone 100 laps without a caution.
And with the position, correct, and for the viewing audience at home, who would get the lucky dog in this scenario based on their positioning?
Right now, Devin Jack in the 17.
Devin Jack in the 17.
There goes Cofield jumping up to the third line. Oh, no, he fakes out Stoner as he went around Adam Lang, and now he's
down to the bottom line.
But he's Dyson. He's
Stoner's staying up
blood
top.
In the water. Blood in the water.
Just like that. This is that meanness we see from Cofield. He won the ARCA race this past Tuesday.
He will make moves at the end of this race that are questionable, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Dustin Bally in that Toyota is really trying to make that middle work for him.
It is 5 laps to go, coming to 4 laps to go, and this is gonna get hairy. You're gonna start seeing some 3 lanes forming in the back, trying to make a push towards the front, and then that's when you're going to see some of these front guys trying to decide which line to go with.
Just trying to keep a camera on this full pack. Dustin Bally, he's going to look
Powers
to that. No?
Gave a shove to Monteith, and he got loose. Oh, Brian Probst in the wall.
And
in the wall.
What's that going to end up doing? That checks up quite a few guys, and there's the caution.
Caution is out.
And that is so many people. That is not good.
Oh my goodness.
There are definitely some guys who are very happy with what happened, but there are a lot more that just had a very, very bad time. Thankfully, they have not had to use their fast repairs. They're gonna get themselves back around, but we are going to green, white, checkered.
And you know what also that means? Tyler Barnett and Logan Monteith are back on the lead lap.
Yes, indeed. They're heading back around. No lucky dog needed. They were already there. Let's take a look back here. So I see a report of Jackson Samsel having crashed. I'm wondering if this is before or after the incident. Nope, this is after. So let's go back up here and see the contact, Brian Brobst. We take a look here. Brady Powers, just slides up, and Brian Brobst is there. That's it. That's enough to send him up. He's going to collect the 17. And the 17 is going to collect pretty much everybody else here. So we try to get a high view here. Go into our blimp view. There we go.
Yeah.
Take a look overhead. Man. Oh, man. Jackson Samsel horrendously hurt there. Flipping all over the place. He had a nasty hit. Jonathan Cofield caught up in that as well.
It just stacked up, and a lot of these guys just were trying to get out of the way, and there's only so much room to get out of the way.
Are we hearing anything on comms?
I'm not hearing anything. It's kind of quiet.
Logan Monteith has not waved around at this point. He must not have been ahead.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, there it is.
Well,
I was very confused.
Yeah, yeah. See.
And it does seem Jacob Bradley, of course, was in the lead there. I believe at time of caution.
Yeah, I'm super excited to interview somebody for the first time, but I think I'm just gonna let these guys have
this time.
The screen white checkered.
Yeah, I don't know who you possibly pull in and ruin their thoughts and their mojo and who they're talking to, strategizing right now. It's just really poor timing for that caution to happen, but of course it does.
Yeah. Just gonna let these guys kind of talk to their team and figure out what they want to do.
Well, you can make a mental note of who will be in our post-race interviews.
Brady Powers talked about he's trying to save as much fuel as he can, so I'm assuming he's shutting the ignition off and letting her coast.
And if talking over the comms like that, I wonder, like, what does that do in that instance? I mean, he's in a chat with his teammate, Steve Loving there. I mean, what is the advantage at this point? Of saying that over comms? Is it just letting people know that he might be a little slower on checkup?
I don't know. It could be a total bluff,
Very interesting point.
It could be a bluff. It could be like, I'm not. He's gonna be the leader, so. Well, this has Jacob Bradley as the leader, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well.
But shout out to Brady Powers starting 16th. And
yeah, he is our big mover of the day, and he held a very strong line, held a very strong push. He tried to make a big push to follow into that outside line. It looked like he was going to follow Bradley out, and he just made contact with Brian Brobst at that point, and that's kind of the scenario we see when things get pushed into a 3-wide situation. It's a whole lot of ugly.
Yeah. If you look at the back of this, the back of the lead lappers, you got Tyler Barnett, Adam Lang, you got the 69 of Larry Dickerson. These guys are definitely going to make a push on this green-white checkered. There's going to be some going to be some moves made here.
Jackson Samsel is only just leaving the pits.
I think he had to tow.
Oh yeah, I mean his damage was horrendous. That's unfortunate.
I don't think he could drive it back.
Yeah, after flipping that many times, yeah, I'm not surprised. But look at this. This is a very interesting scenario. So as we've said, it's Jacob Bradley, Brady Powers pushing 1-1 here, trying to get to that push. It's going to be Robert Brobst behind him, but who's behind Jacob Bradley? It's Brady Powers' teammate Steve Loving. Who's behind Steve Loving? It's both of their teammate Dustin Bawley, made his way all the way up. And far be it from me to even not mention at all here, Adam Boyles, as well as Michael Boyles, back-to-back, and Michael Gudger, all finding themselves here into this top 10, as well as Jonathan Cofield, as we're getting ready to go green here, and we're going to see that signature good restart off of Jacob Bradley, where he rockets ahead.
You don't want to get too far ahead because these guys start building up a run, and you do not have enough to stop it. You can pull out, but at that bump, it could be lethal.
And look at the freight train there.
Powers on the outside, he's going to take it. Bradley's not going to be able to get up and block. He's going to have to rely on a push from Steve.
Robert Brobst. Yeah, big push. Well, as we said, Steve Loving's trying to get a good position here. I mean, he's going to push Jacob Bradley so that he can find himself in second, third, and get as high a finish as he can. Maybe even go for the win. Yeah, look at Steve.
Lock bumpers.
As I said, Steve's gonna push to try to get that win, and just like that, Brady Powers is gonna fall in line.
He's gonna fall in line, and then
it looks like there's some strategy. Oh, there is some strategy. Steve Loving, Brady Powers is gonna support Steve to the outside.
3 wide, Cofield in the middle.
And white flag. Steve Loving. Steve Loving's heading around 4 wide. This is getting intense. Oh,
Bradley
and there it is. Michael Gudger has been taken out.
Oh,
the field is crashing.
They're still good.
The 32 is on his side. The 22 is making his way around. Dustin Bawley's still running up in front. This top 5 is pretty much secured, but it's a drag race. It's a drag race finish. Jonathan Cofield, how did he shove his way back up here? Is he going to sweep Daytona?
Jacob Bradley's gonna
There's
Gonna
just
try
not
and get a
enough
run
push
here.
on the bottom. Can
Dustin
those off the
Bolly.
wall cars push it? Dustin Bolly has come in. This could be it. Steve Loving could be looking at his first finally, his first victory in the Backmarkers Racing League. It will be an off the wall top 3. Steve Loving wins the SLiDESIGNS 250. How fitting.
Wow.
What an unbelievable finish. Oh, it looks like Jonathan Cofield did actually just edge out Dustin Bolly, potentially. We'll have to check the scoring time on that, but still, what a huge push from teammates at the end there. There it is. Steve Loving, you know, I want to know what that chat sounds like right now. There is definitely some excitement going for that push from Brady Powers, who supported getting him to the front. I mean, Brady said he was low on fuel. He must have just known that Steve had the better run at that point and was going to help him get there. And it helps him get to a second, get to a podium. And Dustin Bolly was just in the right place, right time to help push that line and get all the momentum. But Jonathan Cofield and Jacob Bradley, wow. What those guys were doing was insane. As we look at the celebration, let's take a look. Man, look at Steve Loving go. This guy has been itching for this win. He bided his time, and here he is, finally in victory lane at Daytona in the series he sponsors, at the race he sponsored. It couldn't be better. A big celebration for pretty much everyone here, it looks like. Michael Gudger getting pushed across the finish line, ladies and gentlemen. There he goes! Michael Gudger gets a finish on his own 4 wheels.
I'm just watching Steve Loving doing burnouts and then them two pushing each other across the line. That was freaking hilarious.
Wow, what absolutely incredible. And look at all these off-the-wall cars celebrating together. Brady Powers, Dustin Bolly, Steve Loving. It was a bad night for Jay Bass to not be able to come in, but man, what a great night in general for that team. And as team owner, I'm going to be biased here and tell you, woo, baby, let's go! It always feels good. Look, another push. 69 gets pushed across by Brian Brobst. Man, I love that. I love seeing that Larry Dickerson gets a finish. It is not a DNF for him. He gets the finish.
Team points matter.
They do matter, and that's enough to get him around somebody who might not have been able to finish there. Just absolutely insane. I think it's time we start talking to some guys, and I think we start with Jonathan Cofield, who is our third man here, taking the bronze. Let's see if we can get ourselves put up in here.
Okay. Let's see.
We'll go ahead and move.
Okay.
All right, let's see where we can grab him from.
Looks like he's in. Where's he at?
I got him. Here we go. Hey, Jonathan, it's Rain and Tyler to town up in the booth. You got us, man?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, man, you are just a fiend for getting them interviews, aren't you?
Yeah. I was trying to get up there.
Did a heck of a job, dude. That was a crazy push there at the end. You were going 2, 3, and even at one time 4 wide. What was going through your mind there on that green-white checkered?
That I was blocked in and had nowhere to go, and the outside lane was down on us so tight. The first one that opened up, I just went for it. I think I accidentally got into the 5 there and got him a little squirrely. Don't know if I hope he saved it. Wasn't intentional by any means. Just trying to get to the front with limited laps there toward the end.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to basically make your own holes and try and hope it sticks and hope you don't necessarily ruin anybody else's day. But yeah, this plate race and this sometimes that's just what you have to do.
Yeah, we had a damn good race though, man. 2 wide, 3 wide for 95 laps. I mean, little pit strategy in there. I know a bunch of us was trying to save fuel at the end. Overall, it was a fantastic race, I thought.
Yeah, it was definitely a good one to call from the booth. 2 green flag pit stops, and 96 laps of green flag run. I mean, I'd consider that a success. You got anybody you'd want to thank or throw out there?
Yeah, I want to thank SLiDESIGNS, Steve Lovin. Congratulations on his first win in his series. Awesome. I think they kind of got stacked up right there and kind of outmotored us coming to the checkered. But I don't see anything on the sponsor read. But any other sponsors that's a part of this league, really appreciate it. A lot of good guys in this league. Good clean racing. Can't wait to run some real tracks now. You know, I like super speedways, but a lot of tempers get flared at super speedways. Nothing meant by it, just good fun. But on to some real racetracks. I want to thank y'all up in the booth. Hope it was exciting for y'all as it was for us. Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply on the truck. My teammates at Payday Racing, all the vintage guys we were working with. Damn good job by everybody.
Definitely was. All right, man. Well, we'll. Is there any particular chat you want us to throw you back into?
Just put me
we'll
back in.
Just send you on back to your team.
Yeah, appreciate it, bud.
All right, and I think with that, we should go ahead and grab our second place here, Brady Powers. Let's go ahead and grab him in here. Yo, Brady, it's Raiden and Tyler Talent up in the booth. You got us, man?
Yes, sir.
Well, sir, second place coming in. Pretty fantastic finish, leading a good portion of it. What a great end for your night so far. How you feeling?
Dude, I'm feeling great. We had a 1-2-4, almost 1-2-3 off the wall podium. I'd take it, but 1-2-4 is good enough for me. We just had good teamwork up there. We had good pit stops. I think pit stops, I probably gained a lot of spots on pit stops, and that really helped us.
Man, the green flag pit stops were crazy. We did not expect 96 green flag laps and 2 sets of green flag cycles. So that's kudos to you guys, man. Just putting on a really good race. We asked Cofield, so I feel like I got to ask you, what were you thinking when laps are winding down and the inevitable caution happens and you have a green flag checker to lay it all on the line?
Well, I knew I was starting outside front row, and I knew Steve was going to be on that inside. So any way that I could have got in front of him or behind him, we would have worked together and got to that front, which, I mean, you saw exactly what happened, and boom, just like that. I mean, 1-2 finish for us. That's all you can really ask for here.
That's right. Yeah, it was definitely a great run by the team. You got anybody that you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, shout out Steve Loving for helping me out tonight. Dustin Bally, Rain for being our captain here. Shout out Wanted Goons, Freshen Up Hydration, FPS. See who else? Off the Wall Racing. I mean, thanks for taking me on this year. That's about it. Carson Bechtel for spotting me tonight. That's about it.
That's a big help.
Yeah, he was in my ear all night. You had us recorded, so you heard all of that tonight.
It'll be very interesting to hear some of those calls, but very proud up here in the booth myself personally. You guys did fantastic work and really great. Go celebrate with everybody. Go enjoy your night, man.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a good one.
All right, let's try to get him back up. All right, and I think with that, we go ahead and give this time to our winner. If you want to go ahead and grab,
I'll grab
Steve Loving here.
Hey, Steve, it's Tyler and Rain up in the booth. You got us? Oh yeah. Well, man, your sponsored series, and you just go out and win this thing. how are you feeling right now?
Feels pretty good. I don't usually win in anything. I usually come in second or third or fifth or last. But no, I'm pretty excited. I came in with a goal of finding a way to beat Cofield and Bradley. I achieved the goal. That and stay alive was really the only objective. But yeah, that last caution was a little bit of a fear. I was cutting it pretty close on gas. I don't think I was the only one, but I was doing everything possible to save it. I was worried I would be so short I wouldn't even have enough to give enough gas to get across the finish.
And that's crazy. We were talking about that up in the booth about how wondering how all these pit strategies were going to play out, and if there were people cutting it, maybe a little too close, or how that was going to affect even the green-white checkered. But you had enough because you went on with it. But yeah, there was definitely a late charge, and just like through your mind, other than the running out of gas, did you expect a caution to come within the last couple laps, or did you think you guys were just going to ride it out and have to duke it out?
I figured we are going to ride it out. I was actually hoping we stayed green all the way. I figured even if we got 2 with 1 to go, everybody would probably fan out somehow and get 3 or 4 wide. At some point, I figured, I guess it was Bradley or Cofield, I can't remember which one. Someone was going to come up on the outside, and whoever was on the second on the outside lane was probably waiting for him to connect. And when that happened, we were going to be 3 wide. So I was waiting for that to eventually happen. And if it did, I was going to be stuck on the inside with nowhere to go. But ultimately, it didn't happen. And we all stuck together. But really proud of the team. Off the Wall Racing did a great job. Brady was amazing on track. Justin was amazing on track. We all worked together. We tried to stay nose to tail, help each other out in pits. So, that's what teamwork's all about. If everybody sticks together and has a plan, you can usually keep everybody together and finish up in front.
That's right. And I was going to ask about that. You guys were all in a chat together, as one team. So how much were you guys helping each other, right up until that last lap where everybody's trying to get everything that they can, regardless of who your teammate is and all that? Was there any just radio silence of everybody trying to just focus?
We stayed in pretty good communication about different things throughout the race, which really worked out just to make sure that we were together and we were doing the same thing at the same time. Even on the last lap, we didn't have the mindset that everybody was on their own. Once we linked up and we were able to keep a run, we essentially agreed to stay nose to tail across the finish, because we started fanning out, it would be, who knows what would happen. So we just stuck it out, and then we were actually hoping for a 1-2-3 finish, and it was really close.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it sucks. Your 4th member of the team couldn't be here, Jay Bass. But yeah, you guys definitely held it down. That's for sure. You got anybody you'd like to shout out and thank for tonight?
Thank you guys, both you and everybody in the booth doing a great job broadcasting. Backmarkers for being a great league. This is a brand new series that we've established as a progression series. So this is a good taste of a lot more that's to come from the league. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Everybody on the track did an amazing job. Clean race. Everybody's super competitive. And again, I'd like to thank the team. Brady and Justin did a great job, and we all worked together. It was awesome. It was, honestly, tonight was textbook. It's perfect.
I guess you'll have to shout out your owner.
Oh yeah, of course. Right.
Yeah, man, let me tell you, with just seeing the way you guys all got together there, and when Brady Powers, you jumped out around him, Brady immediately came up with you, and especially when Dustin was finally able to catch up and get there, seeing that real close, I thought it was a 1-2-3 there, but Cofield, being that ever sly dog he is, getting his way in, he is not about not getting his interview at the end of the night, so he edged his way in there, but man, couldn't be happier with the turnout myself. But just a thrilling race, absolutely amazing, going green almost the entire time, and just one final caution to bring to a green-white checkered, but that's Daytona, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of convinced that Cofield has a bumper extension or something on it. I think the officials need to take a look at that in the garage.
All right, well, we're going to let you go back and get back to celebrating with your team. Enjoy the night, man, and congratulations on that first. This has been an elusive win for you, but we've just been counting down the moments till it happens. So congrats to you. Go enjoy this night.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a good one.
All right.
Have a good one.
let's see as I shuffle Steve.
I did see, well, just as I used to do in the ARCA days, someone kicked down the door.
Yes,
Mr.
indeed.
Tyler Barnett
There he is.
in the flesh.
Tyler
Man,
Barnett.
Yeah.
What I gotta ask, what was the BMR Evil Empire strategy today?
Apparently mess up and lose the draft and speed down pit road.
Yeah, so you did speed down pit road.
I did. I sped. I was taking my normal line, and I totally forgot Steve was above me, and I would have made it if I was able to slide up the track just a little bit more. I wanted to try and be as close as I could to Steve, but I thought he was going to clear me going into pit lane, but overshot it a little bit. I felt the wheels go straight when I was trying to turn it, and I was starting to lock up the fronts a little bit because, I mean, that's what I did the first stop, and it was a really, really good entrance, and I almost nipped the cone. And then I realized that there was a truck length that I had to give for Steve, so I had to let off the brakes a little bit, bite the bullet, not take out Steve, not take out the eventual winner, so he can thank me for that, and he can pay me later for that. But otherwise, I mean, after that, our strategy was just to hang on. So
You guys
We
hung
got-
on for a long time there.
we were stressing about it. So I think I had one person behind me shoving, and then after that, it was a big pack. We tried to stack everybody up just a little bit, enough so they can all get too wide, and then push the myself and I think it was Brian Bropes behind me ahead of the leader, and then he got shuffled out, and then it was Bradley behind me. So I know he was shoving me. I was kind of letting off the throttle just a little bit, trying to save a little bit of fuel, just a touch, and then I wanted to try to get all of our Evil Empire boys back onto the lead lap as soon as there was a caution, which we were waiting for. We were banking on it just because they're getting real racy. You kind of got to expect that here at a plate track. But they got racy, and we played the strategy just right. And I think Logan got the lucky dog, and then Blake was able to just go ahead and pass a pace car with me. So it played out in the end. People probably won't be the happiest, I guess, but I mean, it's plate racing, and we weren't really blocking the leaders. I wasn't trying to just like parachute them and make them battle and kill each other, but we had to do what we had to do to stay in front. And thank you for shoving me, Jacob, because without that, I wouldn't have finished 11th.
Yeah, that was such a crazy ending. And Rain, I don't know what kind of timing we have here, but I just looking at the finishing order, and Logan Monteith got back up and finished 6th.
Yeah, I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess he managed to get around that wreck because he finished right behind Jacob Bradley practically.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, that was our BMR strategy. We knew what we were doing. At least one of us, two of us, we got top.
You knew what you were doing when it got to the end with that green white checkered caution.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a little bummed out that I sped down pit road because I would have been in that front pack most likely if I didn't make a stupid mistake. But otherwise, Steve, like I said, you could pay me for still listening to this, but what a great race overall for the league. What a change up from Tuesday.
Wow.
I mean, we did what, 96 laps green at a plate track while we were 2x2, basically most of the race.
Yeah, and there were still people were still taking runs and trying to make things happen. It wasn't that everybody was just kind of settled in, but I mean, it was just a good plate race. That's just all there is to it. Much different from what everybody got to see on Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we had a couple issues in the chat afterwards, and we fought it all out. People got yelled at, and I think it cleaned up fairly well from there. And we showed them why we're the truck series, why it's that progression series to the next series. And we got some good drivers up in here. So it's going to be a really good season, I do think. And if we can get 90-something laps green at a plate track 2x2 like that, I do think throughout the season, it's going to be pretty caution-free. It's going to be a lot of people capitalizing on any mistake, like my pit road speeding. If I do that during a season race, then I'm screwed. You got to be almost perfect.
Total Denny Hamlin move there, by the way. But there was definitely some yelling going on in the booth. Also, not at each other, but just at this amazing finish to this race. So, thank y'all for putting on a show.
If anybody knows how excited I get about incredible finishes, especially if guys under the off the wall banner are up there, it's Tyler Barnett. He's very
True.
familiar. So
Oh, for sure. But I'll hop out of you guys' hair real quick. I just want to say thank you to Steve Levin. Congrats on your first BMR win, first of all. Second of all, thank you for sponsoring this league, making the Truck Series kind of your baby. But obviously, under our banner as BMR and as the admins, I can't thank you guys enough. I'm super proud as one of the owners of the league, and I cannot wait for more races. I miss being out there. I mean, it's been such a long time, it feels like. I know I've been doing late models, but I miss the big tracks as well and the NASCAR cars. So going back to it, got a little off stray, but thank you guys again for broadcasting. You guys are, I'm assuming, doing a fantastic job. I'll have to go back and look at it. Rain, I know how you broadcast. Tyler, I believe in you.
I want very harsh criticism.
Oh, you'll get it later. You'll get that later. You'll get the 7-paragraph message of me just screaming at you the whole time. And then I'm gonna send you a voice chat as well after that.
That'll just make me better.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you all the league sponsors. I mean, SLiDESIGNS. I know it's SLiDESIGN, but we're calling it SLiDESIGNS now from here on out because that's the rebrand that comes with BMR. So thank you to, like I said, Steve. And then thank you to all the Evil Empire boys. We did a great job tonight, and all of the Evil Empire sponsors like Raise Energy, Skills VR. We got quite a few on there that I'm just kind of blanking on right now. Thank you, Martin Sports, too, for hopping on my truck at least, and hopefully becoming a part of the team in the future. We'd love to have you.
all right, well,
All right.
let's close that out, and thank you very much, Tyler, for checking up here.
Did I just disappear? You guys are quiet for like 5 seconds, and I was spitting bars.
You were. No, everything was heard. Just trying to handle something else here personally, looking at something. But yeah, thank you very much, man, for checking in. Look forward to seeing what you're gonna do on Tuesday, getting that home track chance at ARCA. So gonna be cool to see you back in an ARCA car. It was great to see you back in a car in general, running an official with this league. So really looking forward to the rest of this, the way this season's gonna shake out for everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good one. And sorry to hop onto the booth and kick down that door.
It's all right, man. All right, Tyler. Well, I mean, frankly, the reality of talking to anyone you possibly can is there's just too many people to talk to after a super speedway race.
Just want to talk to everybody.
Frankly, I'm feeling pretty great about what we're able to talk about so far with our guys. I mean, get the opportunity to interview Tyler Barnett for his first time back behind the wheel and an official with us, and of course get our podiums there. And I think honestly we can kind of leave that there on a high note of how everybody ended up feeling there. I don't know about you, if there was anybody else you had in mind particularly.
Not necessarily. Logan would really be the only other one just because of how he came out of nowhere. But I mean, if we need to close it out, we need to close it out. That's just.
Well, I mean, if you want to try to pull him in, I'm happy to let you take an interview for anybody you absolutely want to, get a shot at talking to. He had an incredible finish just outside the top 5. It's always interesting to pick his brain and see what's going on. So, I mean, if you want to try to pull him in, go for it.
He may be a man of few words, but we'll give her a shot. Let's see here. Hey, Logan, it's Tyler and Rain in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I gotta ask. We were definitely curious on the strategy there of dropping out of the pack, and then did you just lose the draft, or did you mean to just kind of do your own thing?
Well, I mean, I dropped out there because I didn't want to end up getting in a big wreck there, and I was gonna merge up before the corner there, and there was still people coming, and I didn't want to make them move out of the way, so I just backed it down and went through the corner, lost the draft. Not expecting we were gonna go green for 97 laps. Yeah.
It was crazy.
And then from there, just trying to be aggressive to stay on the lead lap. I got the lead lap a couple of times. I got back on the lead lap a couple of times the old-fashioned way by passing everyone, but then I got Yeah, when that caution came out there, when I got the lucky dog, entering my pit stall, I only had 0.2 gallons of fuel. So
Wow.
yeah, that I probably would have ran out in front of the field there and caused a wreck. Didn't already happen. So and then after that, lucky dog started at the tail end of the line up and somehow passed all those cars and just needed like one more straightaway and probably could have got a top 5 there, but I'll take a 6th place. That was a solid. After all that, yeah, I can't complain about a 6th place finish.
That's what I was gonna say. Like we were watching for probably a good 15, 20 laps. You guys, getting your lap back and just riding in the front and kind of holding those lead cars back. And I told Rain, I said, well, if they get a caution, then that's gonna put Logan and Tyler back on the lead lap, and that's gonna be a major shootout to the finish. And it ended up being an incredible finish. And I just went through looking at the finishing order, and I was like, oh man, Logan got back up to 6th, and we were both shocked. So had to pull you in here and pick your brain about it, because we were curious. Because Blake kind of did the same thing, pulled out and then ended up losing the draft. Didn't work out as well for him though, still finishing a lap down. But yeah, it was. From your perspective, did you imagine this thing running the way it did after Tuesday?
Absolutely not. That starter race, if you told me we would go 96 laps green, I would told you should be in a mental institution. So yeah. And then once we got we had 4 lap down trucks leading the pack there. Once we got that, because it was me, Blake, Brobst, and then Tyler. I told them over race comms, it was like, if we stay like this, they can't pass us, because they'd have to make a run for the outside, and that's going to be sketchy for them. I don't know if they want to take that risk. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mentioned that. I said Bradley would have to jump out and make his own lane. And I don't know if he wants to do that this early, because there was plenty of lap cars separating him and basically the lead. So yeah, overall it was definitely a good race. You got anybody you want to shout out or thanks?
my team, Evil Empire, my teammates, definitely would not have been possible today without them. Definitely getting that 6th place finish. 60 Feet 6 Foundation, SLiDESIGNS, with Steve Loving for sponsoring the series, the race. Congrats to win on him. Man, I'm excited for this season. If we can go 96 laps green at Daytona with side by side and single file the whole race there, we can go green pretty much at almost every other track. So I'm really excited for this season.
I think it definitely just showcases the talent that's in this truck series. And you look at the schedule, next week is Michigan. And they did a recruitment race at Michigan a few weeks back. And the racing at Michigan will be fantastic if everybody races with as much, just being as courteous as they were tonight. So that race is going to be incredible. You got any thoughts on Michigan?
I believe it's Legacy Michigan, so
Yeah, it is.
it's that's a fun track right there. Race is a bit different than the updated Michigan, but it's still a really, really fun track. It's such a wide track, and it's such a fast track as well.
Am I wrong in assuming that with the that being Legacy, that old asphalt will probably chew up some tires, and you'll see some different strategies?
Oh, I'm guessing it will. I mean, these trucks, they'll wear out the right front tires as is, so you get anything with old surfaces on it, and it'll just chew through those tires.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a good one to watch. Rain, got anything?
I mean, frankly, I'm just still sitting here in awe at the fact that you were a lap down and managed to finish 6th by the end of this. But that's plate racing, baby! Woohoo!
Don't worry, I still haven't soaked it in yet. So
It'll hit you right as you're going to bed trying to fall asleep.
this is just as good as a win. So
Oh yeah, I mean that's amazing points. It's an amazing finish, and that's something you get to go into talking with everybody later and be like, man, look at how about that, you know? And not to mention, I mean, just getting around that wreck, you finished practically just behind Jacob Bradley. He had to have been right in front of you on the finish. So I mean, you really slingshotted your way up there, and really had an opportunity to kind of to even if you just had a little bit more of a run, or if that wreck happened just a little bit sooner and you're able to get around of it, maybe you'd have been fighting into that 5th position or so. You know, I completely believe that.
yeah, I was coming across the line there. I believe I was on the outside of Bradley there. So that's just how much of a run I had coming on those guys, and yeah, it was fun. I think I also got a point for leading laps early on in the race, so even better.
Absolutely. Any point matters. Lead lap, pole position, just the one extra point, it can make a difference between anywhere from, 7th to 10th or even higher, 2nd to 5th, or even the championship. So just yep, definitely staying in it, and you definitely probably win the perseverance award for tonight.
Thank you, and thank you guys for broadcasting tonight. You guys got to keep up the great work, and yeah, you guys are fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Thanks so much, man. Well, I'll let you go run with the rest of the boys. Enjoy. Hey, celebrate your achievement here tonight too, and look forward to seeing what you're gonna do next week.
Thank you.
Well, it was a good call, of course. Logan
Yeah.
Monte's always a great interview, and plus he really did have quite an incredible finish to things. Like I said before, it's just a matter of if you want to interview somebody because they had a bad wreck, you're practically interviewing half the field. So it really comes down to trying to figure out who do you want to be able to pull aside. You only have so much time on broadcast, and you got to make sure you're filling that with people that are going to have the stories that need to be told in that instance, or people who really had some achievements. And those are the guys that we pretty much talked to. I mean, 2 guys coming around, finishing one in just outside the top 5, one just outside the top 10. Both were a lap down previous to this finish. And I mean, for them to get all the way back up there, really incredible. Plus, all of our guys that managed to get onto that podium. Once again, big congratulations, Jonathan Cofield, Brady Powers, and Steve Loving. Steve, congrats on getting that first win. And of course, want to thank you, of course, for sponsoring the league and also this race, the SLiDESIGNS 250, here as a part of the Backmarkers SLiDESIGNS Trucks Series. And of course, SLiDESIGNS has over 20 years of professional experience and unique designs that meet NASCAR official standards. You just need to look no further than SLiDESIGNS for your iRacing livery needs. Visit SLiDESIGNS _ on Instagram today and reference Backmarkers for 10% off. That's right, go to SLiDESIGNS _ SLiDESIGNS _ the little underline, you guys know what I'm talking about, on Instagram today, and reference Backmarkers for 10% off your next iRacing livery. They're beautiful, they're great, you're gonna want one. Go do it. And of course, really looking forward to what we're gonna be having next week. Same time, same place, Backmarkers YouTube channel, Backmarkers Racing League YouTube channel. Always look for that orange B, that's us. And we're gonna be at Legacy, Michigan, for the Martin Sports 200, 100 laps in the afternoon. It's going to be a really interesting one. And of course, do not forget that we have other series going on throughout the weeks. On Monday, we have our rescreened LLC Regional Late Model Tour. And that is going to be the M99 Graphics 125 Showdown at New Smyrna. It'll be 125 laps. That's going to be a great one you're not going to want to miss. As well as following that on Tuesday night, our ARCA series will be at Irwindale Speedway for the Martin Sports 130. We're getting a Martin Sports doubleheader there, so that's really fantastic. It'll be really easy to commentate and remember who's sponsoring.
That's right.
And then, of course, Wednesday night, that's right. You want racing all throughout the week, and you want different types of racing? We got it all right here. On Wednesday night, we generally have our dirt track racing. I believe we have the Weed Sports Speedway is what's coming up next Wednesday. And then, of course, you come right back here on Thursday for the SLiDESIGNS Trucks Series. And we will be at Legacy, Michigan for the Martin Sports 200. Really great race tonight. 96 green flag laps. If you missed it, you need to go back and watch it. If you're rewatching it, tell us how you felt about it in the comments below. Drop a like and share with your friends, man. We're trying to grow this thing, and we can't do it without each and every one of you that show up every week. So I want to say a big thank you to all of them. Tyler, anybody you want to thank on the final way out here?
Just want to thank, first and foremost, the drivers for providing us this fantastic race to watch and be able to commentate. And thanks for everybody watching at home. I know I had a handful of people texting me saying that this race was crazy at the end, and saying that they were actually loving the broadcast. So I think that's kudos to us. Pat ourselves on the back. But other than that, I think that's really it. I mean, I think we just had an awesome ending to a great race. So it's good to end on a high note.
Absolutely. And I want to say, just where they they all showed off what they've got, you showed off here tonight with your first opportunity behind the helm. You really came through pushing out. I mean, hey, everybody at home, tell Mr. Tyler DeTalon how great he did for his first night on broadcast. He really pulled it off, and I think you're really going to grow into this. It seemed pretty natural after a short while. So, as things kind of get a little easier, and especially as storylines start developing throughout the season, it's always kind of weird trying to figure out what to talk about with the first two races, but very quickly you start to find the storylines and the feuds and the threads that you can follow, and it will not take long before you can really sink your teeth into things. So great job here tonight, man. I just want to say thanks so much, Tyler DeTalon, my broadcast partner here for the Truck Series. We'll be back with Tyler Barnett on Tuesday night, and of course the Monday and Wednesdays are also streamed. Monday is streamed by Jay Bast and Brady Powers generally, so make sure to go check them out. I have been your lead broadcaster, Rain Braun, here for the Backmarkers SLiDESIGNS Truck Series, and I hope you guys all enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Michigan.